Fellas, merch drop. Everything restocked. Only 3 more days to get at RyanLongStore.com. And do not forget to catch me in Danny Charlotte's Greensboro Rally for 5 shows. Then Austin, Detroit, Portland, Phoenix, Plano, Toronto, and Baltimore. Yeah.
The boys. It's the BOYSCAST. The lads. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST. It's the bros. It's the BOYSCAST. The homies. It's the BOYSCAST. The dudes. Experience the BOYSCAST.
So Daniel has just recently mentioned that he's on a fast.
My second one, yeah. I was.
He hasn't eaten in 4 days, he said.
I haven't eaten in 45 hours.
This is crazy.
I did an 80-hour one last week, actually.
Stop it.
I swear to God. I was talking about it because I did low-value mail with the big-ass titties, and I was honestly like, for a second.
I'm too fat.
Well, no, I wasn't.
No one even noticed you had them on.
No, they didn't. They go, Danny's looking, something's going on there, but they don't know what. But then I met this dude, a buddy of our friend, and he was like, yeah, I did this 7-day fast. He's like, it was the best thing I ever did. He's like, now I do them every year. He's like, I do them multiple times a year.
One a year seems reasonable.
No, he does them multiple times a year. But Bill Maher said the same thing, where he does them.
Well, you always say
4
that Bill
times
Maher's
a year.
gospel for you. You've always been saying
I love
that.
the Maher man. I'm a Marhead.
Yeah, you are.
Love the Maher man. And so, I did one last week. I was like, you know what? I felt pretty good actually after it. So then we're going to Vegas and then on the road. So I figure it's a good little.
So you did 4. You're on.
Honestly,
you're at 48 hours now. How do you have energy?
Look at me.
It was a hectic day. You're saying that there was plenty to go around.
Yeah, I mean, that's my girlfriend. She goes, don't you like, where's the energy coming from? I'm like, what do you mean, where's it coming from? Look at my body. It's there. It's like her dad's a doctor, and she told him because he was worried I was going to die, and he's like, you could not eat for 30 days.
That's what her doctor dad said?
He's like, you don't have to eat for 30 days. You just need water. But we're going on the road, and I'm just like, and honestly, the funny thing is, so your strategy, you have a somewhat similar strategy, but it's like
starve to death,
but you'll still eat like
chicken Caesar salad a day.
One.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to not eat than do that.
Not eating at all is nuts.
It's easier. I'm telling you.
Tim Ferriss is always talking about doing the fast.
For my brain, the way my brain is
That's
wired,
how I feel about everything, though. I know what you mean.
It's easier for me to not eat at all.
Are you delirious right now?
No, I'm totally fine. I honestly,
really? And we were shooting this morning too.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working all day, and like they have this. So you go into this thing called ketosis. The only thing that sucks about it is you smell. Like,
why do you smell bad?
Because apparently your body starts.
Oh, that's the fast.
No. Well, it's because your body stops using. Someone's going to correct me, but it's like your body normally uses glycogen for fuel, and then it switches to fat.
Okay.
When you're in like this thing called ketosis, and then your brain starts using it for whatever ketone.
And it makes it smell.
It's the thing that Peter Attia was always on, but apparently, yeah. Like I go to the gym. Like I work.
Let me ask you a question. Have you been doing this fast for the last couple of years?
No. No. I just
the smell thing.
Oh, gotcha. Got it.
So you've been lifting weights on the fast?
I do my whole normal life. And honestly, it's so much easier because every diet, you're like, I have to do this. I have to do this.
Diets
I have to do
are
this.
tough.
This is do nothing.
This is more on my alley.
This is quite literally do nothing.
Yeah.
You just have to do nothing.
But it's a little tough. So how many more days are you doing? You doing it tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, 72 hours. So I started on Monday night.
James Franco style, cutting off your fat.
Honestly, I feel it's so weird because in your mind, you're like, man, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And then they do say, like, keep yourself busy, but I am busy.
Right.
So it's fine. And like,
I feel like the first day would be worse than the second day almost in a little bit.
It is. Everybody who does it, they say the third day.
You don't even want the food.
No, honestly, when I broke it last week, I was like, on day 3, I was like, it's time to break it because I said I would. But I was like, I could keep going.
I'm not even just getting started, pal.
Yeah.
I didn't hear no bell.
Interesting. And I mean, I lost like, in those 3 days, I probably lost like 7 pounds.
Nice.
Pretty good. Honestly, like,
Are you going to get skinny?
I don't know how many. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe
I feel like you're not because you've been like a workout, fast, health nut since I've known you, and you've always been fat.
Well, it's just because I drink too much and I eat.
You don't drink that much, do you?
I mean, I drink enough, and then like I don't know. I'm not like an alcoholic.
Here's the question: do you recommend it for people? So far, you're a yes.
Not a doctor, but yeah, I like it.
Interesting.
And apparently it's really good for like there's this thing happens called autophagy because your like cells kind of throw away all the garbage ones.
I'll do
But
this.
you can't do it until you're basically 48 hours into a fast where your cells start like, they don't regenerate, but they get rid of all the old bad ones. It's
Okay,
like,
I'm going to do one.
yeah, it's pretty good. We should do it.
I can't do it on tour. That's way too
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. You have to find
I got to do it when I'm editing or something.
a good spot, like lifestyle wise.
Interesting.
That's why I'm like, I'm not going to do it in Vegas or anything, but I'm like, I saw it in my schedule. I go like, yeah, I could do this 3 days right here. Bang.
Bang.
Done. And then those 4 days, I do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay.
The only thing is you don't want to like end a fast by just like going to McDonald's. Like
How are you going to end it? What's going to be your
drink,
first? What are you going to treat yourself with?
You don't. That's the thing is you basically drink
Eat your own
like,
tongue, probably.
No, you're honestly, you'll see it. You're not that hungry, but you got to drink like bone broth or like soup because it's like a shock to your system.
Have you been boning on the fast? That's
on the
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been putting down performances?
Performances? No, I'm on the bottom.
So, yeah. You go on the bottom and you're doing quicker ones?
Yeah. Actually, no.
That's a pretty good excuse,
You know what? Actually,
though.
no.
Baby, I'm fast.
Now that I think of it, I actually haven't been.
Okay. Did you spank it?
No, I'm
No
generally,
energy?
I'm just generally dull. No, I have energy. It's weird.
You do
It's just-
seem so energetic.
It's the way your body's like prioritizing energy.
It's all
maybe.
you know what it is? It's like the Peterson thing where you've taken out the bad things maybe a little bit too, right? You know what I
for
mean?
sure. I just honestly coffee and water with salt in it.
Oh, you
'Cause
drink salt water.
for electrotrolytes. Because apparently you'll get dizzy.
Well, you drink Gatorade.
No, because that's.
I drink Powerade, but I can see you drinking Gatorade.
Do they still have Powerade?
Yes.
No, you can't drink anything like that. Or you can't even. The one thing that I wanted, I go like, I could do this for a month, is if I could just drink Diet Cokes. But apparently you're not allowed to do that.
Why? Because Diet Cokes make you hungry too.
Something about the fact that even though it's fake sugar, it still does something where all the people are like, don't do this.
Okay.
So it's just literally carbonated water, salt.
Well, there's
water,
good
coffee.
news this week is that PayPal did a whole thing where they basically came out and they're saying that we're good.
I just love that it's all created by these super base dudes, and then now they're like, if you say a wrong word,
dude, it's crazy. So PayPal basically said that they're like, they kind of released a statement that said like, we can if you misinformation, we can basically take your money. And it's like up to like $3,000,
$2,500,
yeah.
legit. And like I wasn't clear if it's like a pop, like it's like a PayPal swear jar.
Yeah, it's
you
kinda
know,
what
like
it
they
is,
go
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a jar, and you go, you did it
I think
wrong,
what happens is the plan
$2,500.
was to delete your account and then be like, we didn't see nothing. And then because that's what happens in a lot of companies. They sort of delete your account and then you go, I'll get your money back. You go, good luck.
Yeah, how many people do we know on Twitter
They
who
just
are
keep
like,
putting you on hold.
hey PayPal, could I have my money?
Right.
You're like, and like, what is PayPal needed for?
Right.
Like they're a multi-billion-dollar.
No, but you
entity.
are right, because PayPal became the most of like every time. This is one of those things you always hear about people getting kicked off of like Facebook and YouTube and everything. What you don't hear is like, oh, PayPal is getting in on the action always.
Yeah.
But the PayPal basically, then they released a statement because everyone got so mad about it. They thought they could sort of slip it under the rug. They thought it was going to be like a little thing that they could just be like, oh, quick
whoops.
change in our.
I love.
And then they came out and they go, oh, it was actually not really what we meant to say. That was a mistake. And the person's been reprimanded. You put that in there.
Yeah, but it was like a whole paragraph in your terms of service. You go, oh, how'd that sneak in there?
Well, the funny part to me was the idea of PayPal being like, false alarm guys, we're still cool with misinformation. So I was like, when I was thinking about doing the podcast, I was like, what should I start with? You want to get into some COVID?
Okay, yeah.
You want to talk election? What do you need?
Thank you to PayPal.
PayPal's still fucking on board. PayPal's still on board. Speaking of people getting mad at stuff, so your friend Kanye West has been
Yeezy going deaf.
Sarah Silverman. Yeah, he went DEFCON 3 on your people.
Which is pretty mild, actually.
It's not that big of a DEFCON.
And the funny thing is, everybody they go, oh, this is trouble for the Jews. Like every Jew goes, this is probably not going to be good. And then they go and look at the DEFCON ratings and they go, oh,
it's
fine.
not too
3's
crazy.
fine. Three's always, it's the state of.
Here's what my thing is with like, Sarah Silverman was really mad. Jamie Lee Curtis. A lot of people were not happy with what Kanye said. He was about to go DEFCON on the Chosens, right?
On the Jews.
But the thing that I felt like they shouldn't be mad because Sarah Silverman's saying, oh, Kanye is talking shit about the Jews, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, yeah, but last week he was talking about how your life matters all week, right?
Of course.
He had this shirt.
Jews, but she doesn't think she's white.
Oh, come on.
I'll tell you who's not happy about this. Rick Moranis. He's like, I'm probably going to stay. He's like, probably going to stay in for another year.
I don't get why Rick Moranis doesn't.
Because Rick Moranis got knocked out. Yeah, because he got punched by some a
You think
black
he got punched
guy
for being
from
Jewish,
like a black
though?
kid. Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, he probably saw that and he goes, not going to leave.
Staying in for another little bit. But that was making me laugh, the idea that it's like, Sarah Silverman. It's like, did you not see the shirts? White Lives Matter? That was for you. It's like one for you. Not everyone's going to be for you.
Is that how Kanye gets out of this? Is he?
You must be conflicted though, right? Or do you not consider yourself white now? Are you sort of hopping on that bandwagon?
I've never, and I was told I was white. I never thought I was. The funniest thing is always the way I go, I'm not like, oh, I'm white. And then people in the comments are like, no, you're not.
And then you're like, okay, fine, I'm not white. And everyone's like, you're white.
You're white. Depends who. The left says I'm white, the right says I'm not. Not even the left and right, but like those people, the farthest of those people will be like, this is what you are. Yeah, it was the thing from the
woke racist video we did, right?
Little bastards.
But like to me, so people are jumping over backwards because this to me is like a fucking weird thing because so basically, and then she sort of said, she goes, like her comment like that she was saying, she goes, this wasn't even like a big story that Kanye West tweeted. I actually wrote down her exact thing she said. She goes, Kanye threatened the Jews recently. It's not even trending on Twitter. Why do only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The silence is so loud, right? And it was like, well, for one, because it was deleted. Yeah. And then it's like all the things he says are getting deleted. So obviously it's not trending.
But Kanye was trending.
But it was also, it was the biggest story in the world.
Yeah, I was like, that I didn't get.
We were like, no one's even talking about this Kanye thing. It's like, who isn't talking about this?
It's tough, ballsy on her part, because if you look at the comments on her tweet, it's just all her in blackface. It's just like 500 photos of her in blackface.
Well, that was the other thing is people being like, so what was funny is like the people that were posting that, everyone was kind of commenting things like, well, maybe black people aren't here to fight your fights, blah, 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 right? Yeah. And then she was like, I meant white people. So, yeah. So it's like...
That's good stuff.
Well, it is good stuff because it's this weird thing where obviously the real thing that people want to say is, hey, we want to be able to trash white people, but we wanted to stop at like Jewish people, right?
Yes.
And I've sort of said this forever. I feel like this is one of my predictions. I even said that.
You said this, dude, very prophetic. Last week, you go, he's going black Israelite.
I feel like I don't get enough credit for my prediction.
No, this one was like spot on. This one was one of your best ones ever.
Shake down. Yeah. I said he's saying this stuff. He's going to be saying stuff about the Jews. He's one step away from saying how many countries they were kicked out of. I said all this.
He's going to be handing out pamphlets in Times Square next week. With black brother man, antagonizing you while also giving you, and then you take the pamphlet because you're like, I think he wants me. He goes, that ain't gonna be free, dog. And you go, oh, why do I have to pay for this fucking photocopy?
Yeah, Kanye West is definitely gonna be handing out black Israelite pamphlets. The black Israelites on strips are so great.
Remember in Baltimore?
Baltimore, I kind of don't remember the Baltimore.
At the boardwalk. We were walking at the boardwalk. Yeah, remember? And they were like, they had the whole, and you're like, we have to like go around them. And there was a bridge. There was this tight bridge that they had like commandeered.
They started yelling at a lady.
Yeah, they just yell at you. You're like, all right.
They go, you white bitch. Yeah. You are the white devil.
It's so crazy.
Oh yeah, but it is like Hollywood. It's this weird thing where they're as soon as you get into the ideology of like, hey, there's this one group that has like all of the money and we think that's bad. You know what I mean? No group should have any more money than any other group, right?
Sure.
And then they're like, which one's bad? It's like white people have all the money, right? And then they're like, well, if we subset it more, and they go, stop right there.
Yeah, we've gone as far as we're allowed.
But it is this thing where it's like, never would you realize like, hey, you know what? Maybe trying to figure out which group is like has a little bit more money and then reprimanding them publicly and being okay with that. Maybe that doesn't lead to, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, well, it's essentially it's communism. It's like you're trying to be like, oh, we need this fairness and we need to redistribute the wealth, essentially.
But
right?
They keep saying like
why find that out unless there's an end game?
Well, there is an end game, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is it's like, well, like, yeah, exactly what you just said. It's like, here's the groups. And then it's like, I said this forever that, yeah, as soon as you start being like, white people have the money, it's like a certain group of white people are going to be like, there's one rung up on that pyramid.
Yeah. Well, white people are like, hey, what are you coming after us for? What do you mean? White people. We know. It's like, man, we're with you. No, come on.
And the obvious, well, I feel like it's even worse. Like some of these Hollywood celebrities are like, it's us and black people are like a group. Yeah. Like, why? It's crazy. How is that like
musical chairs? Everybody just doesn't want to be left without the chair.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
So it just leaves people in like a pickle. But the obvious real answer is like, yes, stop. Like, if you don't want, like, stop trying to say, hey, but there's this group that has too much money, just be like, hey, maybe we should stop doing this of like trying to like subset in people into groups, finding out which one like has more money and then getting mad at them, right?
Yes.
It's sort of doing the same thing with Asians where it's like causing a problem where they're like, we want them to be victimized, but also they have more money and they're doing better at school. So it's like, we're like preventing them from getting into Harvard, but we also think their life's harder. It's just like, you end up in places that make no sense because you're like, but the whole basis of the thing is, if you boil it all down, it's like we would like to be able to make fun of white people with impunity,
of course,
and
we don't want to need to go look into their personal history to find out what type of whites they are. All right,
but you can see it how you can see it when like Spanish guys that are like white or something that moved here, but it's like obviously a white guy but moved here as like an immigrant essentially. Yeah. That person would start being like, why is me, a Portuguese immigrant, like clumped in with like, you know, guy who's been in America for fucking 7 generations of old money?
That's intersectionality for you.
Well,
now, the question is, do we find out truly how much influence the Jews have?
Well,
with the Kanye thing. Well, I'm saying with the Kanye thing, right? Because if you go,
he's already kicked off everything.
That's what I'm saying. But if he goes like,
very far.
But I'm like, if you go, there's no Yeezys anymore.
Oh,
like, and go, okay.
That was that old Norm Macdonald joke, right?
It was about Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando said the Jews run the Hollywood or whatever.
And they said that he
apologized.
And they let him back into Hollywood.
Yeah, they go, but based on his apology, so they let him work again.
Yeah. Or something. But it's like, I feel like it is, on the internet and stuff like that, it is one of these things that's the most, the most thing you can't say or whatever. But I'm like, am I crazy to be like, if you're like, and Jewish people like have a lot of money, it's like, how is that even like I don't get why this is like a controversial like topic or whatever.
No.
If you start saying like, yeah, and they're all like working together and whatever, it'd be like, I don't think you need to be conspiratorial to be like, there is rich Jewish people with power. The same way there's rich white people or whatever.
There's everything with power. It's the proportion that people don't like. They don't like the proportionality of it.
But the problem is with the thing I'm saying though, I go, but you guys love pointing out groups of people that have too much money. It's like,
of course,
I bet you could find these people that are like, what Kanye West is doing is like bad. I bet you could go down their tweets and like 3 tweets before and be like, this one group's got too much. It's like, it's your thing to do this.
Yeah. Hoisted by their own petard, if you will.
Am I crazy?
No, it's just you. It's just you and Kanye are the sane ones.
Wow.
Maybe he does a shirt for every race to kind of be like, hey, the White Lives Matter shirt, that was just the first in a series.
I'm doing a series. Now I'm going to do a Jewish Lives Matter.
And he just does every single one. He goes, see, you just didn't let me finish.
Yeah, it is pretty, like, it is just like a wild pickle that these people put themselves in, and they have no, consistency. Nothing.
I was saying though, he's doing the exact playbook of if you wanted to ruin your career, everything you worked for in like a day, just
you
literally go wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt in public, and then start going in on the Jews.
I feel like the White Lives Matter stuff like probably wasn't going to do him in. This is. I feel like when everyone really started to get him, like when he started getting deleted from stuff, it was when he started like poking around of
the weird thing is he doesn't have an album coming out, because every other thing he's done crazy is there's an album right around the corner, and he doesn't have one right around the corner, so maybe this is the end.
There's been videos of all these people like burning Yeezys and all that stuff.
I know, that's so funny.
That'd be good if like there was like a Republican guy and like a super liberal guy that were like buddies, and they're both like, one guy's burning his Kaepernicks, one guy's
exactly. No, they just trade. How about that? Maybe we design an app. We design an app where the thing that you're like fucking enraged about is you can trade your goods of the companies you're boycotting. So you just swap a Yeezy for a Kaepernick, and then that way you don't have to throw, and nobody throws out their shoes.
I love this. Yeah, so instead of burning your Yeezys, you can get a pair of Kaepernicks.
You trade them for Kaepernicks to someone who's equally offended on the other side of the political spectrum.
That's actually the perfect fucking version.
We do a sketch for that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sketch. So, yeah, what were the other things that people burned, I guess?
I mean, normally it's jerseys when play or leaves. Times, yeah. But it's not political.
No, but I think people were burning Nike things. That's what it was.
It was Nike for Kaepernick. Yeah. When Kaepernick, when Nike came out with the Kaepernick.
Shoes so much, they were just burning the Nike shoes.
Yeah, Nike.
So it's an app that, whatever, like things that you're protesting instead of burning them.
But it's perfect too because Adidas or Yeezys are Adidas.
Yeah.
So it's like it really works well. Like,
and then you meet up and you're like angry.
Yeah, you're like, fucking give me those.
Give me those fucking take it.
These are fucking sick. And you go, yeah, well, these are fucking sick. So. Goes good. Well, I hope you like them.
Yeah,
I hope you fucking like them. You fucking libtard.
You fucking racist. I hope you fucking like them. I hope you like these. So that's actually a pretty good swap. Yeah. Speaking of celebrities that are Jewish, Howard Stern. Did you see the thing where he basically said for COVID? He's like, so Howard Stern, he goes, I'm like going to leave my house for the first time. It was like crazy to read. They're like,
but he's not
Mr.
a germaphobe.
Edgelord. He is now.
He is now.
He basically did the first, so he goes, I'm going to do a trip out of my house and finally I'm going to test out a restaurant. And he goes to the restaurant. And then the next day he was saying like it was too much for him.
Isn't he on America's Got Talent?
If he is, he's having trouble going to that.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's just an old Jewish dude.
Yeah,
he's an old neurotic Jewish guy. Yeah, he was the king of all media. But
really turned him, like maxed him into that though.
Yeah, that's crazy. I heard someone was telling me there's a comedian who I'm not going to name, but we know him. He's somewhat famous, and someone was like, he just posted. He goes like, he hasn't left the house yet, and he's still doing Zoom shows.
Stop. That can't be true.
And he's like pretty famous.
Stop.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah,
is he a big like hate Trump guy?
No.
Like not even really that?
I'm sure if you got down to it, but it's not his persona. I think he's legitimately like the germs has broken him. Like the germophobia has like broken
it broke
his brain.
people's brains.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, if anybody wants to like come watch me, like I'm doing like a Zoom thing.
You're like, we don't really do that anymore.
He goes, I do.
Oh my God! Yeah, so he's just fully a Zoom
and no openers or anything because no openers. You can't even get openers.
And all of his jokes are about fucking quarantining properly.
I mean, not to give too much away, but it's a lot of crowd work.
Oh no, yeah. I don't know who this is, but so yeah,
his gig is that he does crowd work.
So he basically comes. Yeah. Oh, crowd work's a little better because you can go look at this fat fuck in the top left screen. All of his crowd works but I feel like it would be all like, oh, isn't that crazy that we can't leave our houses? We're stuck in our house. Everyone's like,
I'm at the park.
Yeah, the guy's on his phone at the park watching the show just to like make him feel good.
Yeah, I mean I guess
the germs broke him.
Yeah, I guess some people like at that point you go like, yeah, he has like something wrong with him like mentally.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yo, it's legitimately, dude. I would say that the last 4 years has really been the like taking people's mental illnesses and normalizing them.
Yeah.
So it's like any wacky, crazy thing that a person has, telling them they should do more of it, and it's great.
Like being a liberal.
Danny's out here in the scope. Yo, if you need some Kaepernick,
I just
come fucking get him.
What was the joke you always have or whatever? Like the something, I can't. Something where it's like the punchline is like a liberal or something like, I can't remember.
I always say that there's certain shows where you could say, talking to some guy, he was a stupid retard, but then I just found out he was a Democrat.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the total, like just move and replace.
Yeah, just fucking killing at some like Legion Hall in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then doing the same act, like going over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
going over
to New York
Portland
City
and be like, I was talking to my uncle. Turns out he doesn't believe in science, but then I find out he's a Republican. Yeah. So that actually makes a lot of sense.
Nice round of applause for that.
Yeah, just traveling around with the same bits, replacing the thing.
It's the good old days of comedy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the good old days of comedy. Alex Jones, they finally did the thing that just happened, right? I just got the notification. I had it set up for the
So he's now currently on the hook for $1.45 billion.
That's crazy. So when we're talking about like the speech stuff with Kanye or whatever, it's like we've watched it a little bit in our own lives, but it is crazy because you do start to think that you might be bigger than the system. And it's like, is there anyone who's the only person that maybe kind of seemed like they were bigger than the system and has been able to pull it off is maybe like Trump, Elon Musk,
Bill Cosby.
But even Trump's not, even Trump's not really bigger than the system. They're still like, trying to put him in jail.
He's still doing his rallies on Rumble. Like,
exactly. He got kicked off everything, but it's like, dude, they made them disappear. But Alex Jones, they're like, it's not enough. We're kicking you off everything. They're like, yo, no matter what you think of this thing, so the guy, every dollar you have, we now take from you.
The thing I don't understand, and I'm sure someone might.
$1 billion.
Well, he doesn't have $1 billion. It's like the classic American thing, where you're like, McDonald's spilled their hot coffee on me, and you get a $900 million.
That's crazy.
Settlement. Like, it's like the family's not going to see anywhere near that, if anything, because I imagine the first trial for $450 million cleaned him out. But I don't.
What he should have done if he was smart. I felt like if you knew I'm going to lose all my money, all this sort of stuff. Oh, I guess you just go bankrupt.
Well, you go bankrupt personally, but again, I don't.
Can he go bankrupt and then start again?
Of course, but I don't understand.
So I guess that's not that bad because you basically just go bankrupt, and if you're a celebrity, you can kind of make money back pretty quickly.
I mean, I'm sure his base is this kind of like. They're more
so he
more
actually might be
entrenched
fine.
than
He's just
anything.
starting again from now.
But what I don't understand is like InfoWars.
Does he have to sell his company?
Yeah, like are they going after the company? Because I imagine it's incorporated.
Well, what if he sells his company for like
LLC.
$1 to someone else that he likes?
He tried to.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
he
tried before the trial. There was some talk of like he was trying to shelter assets
for $1
because he knew that it was all going. But you're like, why haven't you done this years ago? Like, you're the guy railing against this government conspiracy. You knew they were coming after you.
Someone else should have the company under their name.
Something. But I guess his wife hates him and she's trying to, so I don't know.
Well, this is what Tim Dillon told us. We need podcast insurance. So if he had podcast insurance, if Alex Jones had insurance, which might be tough to insure, like if you were Alex Jones, that's like the guy going in to get the health insurance, and you're like, you can't even make it in the door.
You're like, you have like lung cancer and you're smoking a cigarette out of your neck.
You're showing up, you're holding the like bag with the urine in and all the things. Yeah. And you're just like, I'm gonna need health insurance, and they go, probably gonna be tough for us to give you that.
Yeah.
So Alex Jones might have a tough time getting the insurance, I think, but. Apparently, that's what you do is you have to get like insurance. So if something like this happens, they pay for it for you.
Yeah, I guess his scale, because they were saying he was making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. That scale to get that insurance,
hundreds of thousands of dollars a day.
I thought they were saying that, or maybe 80,000.
Stop it.
No, for his like Patriot supplies and stuff. I'm telling you,
Patriot supplies.
Dude, he was selling so many vitamins and shit. And
80,000 a day. You're saying he was making $1 billion a month?
No, $80,000 a day is not $1 billion a month. It's $3 million a month.
Oh, I was thinking of 80 million.
No.
All right.
No. He was. They do tens of millions in sales.
Okay, maybe 80,000 a day. That's
InfoWars is doing tens of millions of dollars of sales a year. And I guess it's all going to go away, but I guess you get to restructure and start up again. But then do they get a claim on that new money?
Well, this is what happened. They said the case presented the greatest financial risk to Mr. Jones because he was found liable for violating Connecticut's unfair trade practices by using lies about the shooting to sell products. So the big thing is,
and that's
apparently
how
that's a big part of it is they're saying, yeah, but you were telling the lies and then you were
selling the products. And that's how that number came out of how much he was doing a day, because that's like pretty pertinent to this whole trial, is he was saying like all this inflammatory shit and then selling the Patriot packs.
Yo, do you know, that is so crazy though. So, but once he goes bankrupt, they said they're doing another trial. Like, why do another trial? It's over. Like, you already have all this money.
Sending a message.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so obvious.
I mean, this is like a political. This was to send a message.
It's like a kangaroo court kind of.
It is kangaroo. It's a banana republic, if you will, or whatever. Dude, they already dinged him for $450 million. Last month.
Yeah, they already took the money.
They go like, oh, what? The $450 million wasn't enough? You need the $1 billion as well?
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, it really is sort of a thing that you can't beat the system.
I'll tell you who is beating the system. Fucking lawyers. Holy shit.
Lawyers are doing okay.
Cha-ching, man. Because he's going to appeal this. He's going to appeal that. The other side is like their side just got $1 billion. They're taking a couple. That's
the only one to win in America. Yo, it is. You know what it is? It's the house always wins.
Yeah.
And the house is the lawyers.
Yeah. And that's all Kanye's saying is we got to go after the house.
Danny's words. Here's a question. Would your parents, for example, like people in your family that are Jewish, would they feel any ways about like what Kanye's been up to?
They wouldn't like the tweets. I mean, the thing is, he has enough, like, crazy admirers who will probably do anything he says.
Okay.
And, like, he goes, like, going DEFCON on the Jews.
Black Israelite stuff's no.
I mean, there is no shortage of stories of Black Israelites, like, attacking
I'll just
Hasidic
say
Jews.
reiterate my point one more time. If a black guy said, hey, all these white people are telling me to calm down, like, I don't need a white person to tell me what to, everyone would be like, yeah, you don't.
For sure, of course.
It's just like, obviously, I'm not trying to say double standards, like, duh, but it's just like, I just don't understand how people could have such like cognitive dissonance of like, you love it when like a black guy tells like a white person, but it's like you're like, yeah, that's where the line's drawn.
Well, I guess we need a white Holocaust just to kind of even the playing field, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, dude, you can totally envision, and it's happened, like some like black Israelite who loves Kanye go see some like Orthodox Jew walking around Williamsburg and just goes and fucking knocks him out unconscious or something, which happens.
I guess. I mean, you could say that about anything.
Of course.
Anyone says anything.
But I'm just saying, if you're asking
I don't love
my
those
parents,
arguments of where
you're saying my parents' perspective on
I don't think
it,
your
like-
mom's getting knocked out because of Kanye's
No, my
tweets.
mom's not an Orthodox Jew. I'm talking
she's
about the ones with the
Jewish.
funny hats. They look like lamps. They literally look like lamps.
the cheese hats.
Yeah, like the lamp. They just look like a big lamp.
I'm going to take a quick second here to tell you about Mybookie. Now, 'tis the season. Your favorite athletes always strive to put themselves in a winning position, and it's about time you did too with Mybookie. Mybookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie, use the promo code BOYSCAST, and claim your deposit match of any amount up to $1,000. $1,000. Again, that is promo code BOYSCAST to claim your bonus. Experience sports in a whole new light and make this season a winning one. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and use the promo code BOYSCAST. Well, probably another, basically, I always think of this when I'm like trying to build like a company or, my systems or everything. The biggest thing you don't want to do is build on faulty blocks. And like so many times, especially because I'm a fairly like overzealous person, like I'll, work really hard and try, like I'll be all in on something. You know what I mean?
I want to say just to the YouTube comments, enjoy that one.
What do you call it?
Zealous?
Well,
Hey, I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling the comments section.
over Zionist over here. Policing my speech.
Oh, cancel culture brigade's here.
Speech police. But like, I think that whenever you're sort of like building something, it's like, it's so easy to kind of be like, okay, you know what? This isn't the right fit. Just like, whatever, keep going. This isn't the right fit. But like, you know what? Whatever. We got to get this done.
Yeah.
It's like the construction workers that got to get the project wrapped up. You know what I mean?
That's the best analogy.
You just want to keep moving forward, right? But it's like there's so many blocks on the foundation of like all the things that people have been like made you have to think over the last year that it's just such a mess, right? So now that the World War III is happening,
Yep.
they basically said that transgender people, because how it started is they basically said if we're drafting people, right? And the first part of it is like a lot of millennials can't get drafted because they're like too fat and mental illnesses and like apparently it's like fucking crazy.
First off, I had no idea about this. By the
You'd
way,
be getting drafted after your fast. That'd be a fucking ironic. You do your fast and then they draft
It
you.
goes, hey, you're draft worthy. Well,
It's 18
only
to 25 though, and we're not
yeah.
Americans.
But but no, you actually would be eligible because you have a green card.
That makes you eligible?
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
luckily I'm a fucking old
You're
man.
an immigrant.
What's that? You're doing a draft?
A draft now? Is that for World War I?
Yeah.
But here's the thing I didn't realize, okay? They say this, so there's this, the Senate Armed Service or whatever, and they say any 18-year-old in America has to sign up for this. Every male 18-year-old in the whole country.
Yeah, but most of them don't qualify.
I don't know, but they say you have to regardless to put on the list.
I think what happens is you go in and they have like, oh, too fat, trapdoor.
Sure, but I messaged my girlfriend this morning. I was like looking at this, and then I messaged my girlfriend's brother, who's American. I go, "Did you sign up for this?" He goes, "What? Of course not. I don't think anybody actually signs up for this."
I was thinking that too. I know what you mean.
I messaged him this morning. I go, "Did you sign up to enlist in the draft?"
The same reason when they send me my census reports to figure out, they're like, if you don't file this out, we're going to come to your door and it's going to be bad news. And I go, yeah, come to my door then, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I fucking wish a motherfucker
This is
would.
the thing, for selective service. And I messaged him. I go, "Did you sign up for selective service when you're 18? And he goes, "No."
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean.
And I guarantee you, we don't know one person who has. Let alone like they're saying it's like this is the ultimate bullshit because it's mandatory for every 18-year-old American to sign up for this. It's like nobody signs up for this.
I can't imagine doing that. Yeah.
Imagine if they actually need to and they go, that's like when they go, yeah, Russia just dropped a nuke, so let's look at this list. And they go,
oh no.
Huh, where is everybody?
Yeah. Well, the problem is they don't have any people because everyone's too fat and like fucking mental. Everyone's fat and mental. Yeah. But the funniest part was when they were doing the draft stuff, they like people caught wind of to get mad at that if you're a man and you trans into a woman, you still have to do.
Yeah, so they go that
all of a sudden when they're doing the draft they can tell what they all of a sudden know what the gender was.
Well, they go full Zelensky on you. They go nah.
Right.
We appreciate all your stuff, but we're still gonna.
Honestly, you're such a woman. You're more a woman than us. In fact, you're such a more of a woman. We're gonna let you fight with the boys.
Grab this rocket launcher, pal. I mean, ma'am.
Yeah. But it is because it almost, there's a couple things. It almost proves that they kind of know that they're lying because they know that they kind of don't really see the world it's the way they say they see it. Because you're like, you go, why do they have to go to the draft then? If it's a woman, they go, just shut up. Like fucking. Yeah,
and it again because America has actually, in somewhat recent memory, had this issue where they did have a draft. Like we're I guess one generation away from them actually doing a draft and sending people to go die in another country.
Crazy.
Right? Which is nuts. So then...
Probably the end of feminism.
And imagine in the Vietnam War, all you had to do was, like, no offense to trans people, but throw a wig on. Like, it would have just been instead of moving to Canada, you'd be like, I put a wig on. You go, okay, you can't draft me. So they go, look, we can't allow this. Like... to be that's the out. But like you have to go to jail in Canada.
But it's the same argument for the bathrooms. Yeah. Oh, what? Someone's just gonna put a wig on and try to go to the girls' bathroom? Like they're making all the same arguments.
Sure.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Did you see who they were quoting in this piece?
No,
dude, it was like fucking Matt Walsh. So this piece,
Daily Mail.
Matt Walsh from the
Yahoo Finance,
Daily Wire. Matt Walsh and Ramsey Paul was like who Yahoo Finance was quoting.
I also thought it was a little strange.
I go like super based.
Paul.
Ramsey Paul and Matt Walsh in this article. Like generally you think it'd be like, let's see what Vice has to say about this.
Sure. Yeah. So all their things kind of come to a halt when it. Yeah, but the next answer is like if you're gonna say, well, they're women. The obvious real answer would be like, well, why don't women have to get drafted? Like, there's no way to end this without women getting drafted. It's like, if there's people getting drafted, either feminism's done or women get... I'll tell you what, if they do a draft and women like don't have to participate in the draft, that's the end of hearing any yapping about fucking equality for the next 20 years.
Unless they get drafted for the war effort, like they did kind of. They never got drafted for the war effort.
They get drafted to have to go like
make bullets
or something. Sweaters or whatever.
Yeah.
Service the man.
Something. But if they just get to do their shit and wait for you to come home and you're like...
How funny would that be though if you were like a dude that had a chick that you were just like so sick of and you wanted out of the thing and then she got drafted? Like, that's so funny.
That'd be money.
Your chick gets drafted and it's like a fucking like a clubby like makeup OnlyFans girl just gets drafted. That's so funny.
Or you just hate your girl so much that she's like, just put on the wig and you won't have to go. And he goes, I love this country.
That's probably a lot of people loved the country to get away from the. Honestly, I love this country.
Yeah, they're all just in Vietnam being like, fuck, this is better than what I had at home. Let me tell you.
Chilling with the boys.
Get shot at all day by Charlie, then I have to listen to her fucking drone on about whatever bullshit she was on.
The guy who joins the war efforts to get away from the wife is so funny. That's what the government's like. Women, we want to do a national emergency. We're going to need you to nag your husband extra much this month. They get all the women in a room and they're like, listen, this is you doing your part. Nag him so much that they'll seem pretty good to go to the war.
Genius.
Yeah, so that is what's going on. But it's been like, I feel like it's been... so much of this war stuff unravels everything, but the amount of like war propaganda that's coming out right now, probably, I mean, it's been happening for a year, but it's almost like second to none right now. Dude, they had, okay, so you saw the Russia video, right? You said you sent it to your mom.
I sent it to my mom.
So Russia made this like video And it was basically making fun of America because they're trying to drum up nationalism. And
because people are trying to escape because they're doing a draft. They are doing a draft, right? And so then people are trying to.
One of my best friends is girlfriend's Russian, and their family's there and stuff like that. And they kind of, I think. What he said was like their take is like they're like, yeah, we hate this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
lots of war.
Lots of course, who wants to go to war? But they're just making propaganda because they're like the day they announced they were going to do it, like every flight out of Russia was like booked up in a minute because everybody's everybody's trying to escape, and then they're like not allowing people to leave if you're like of age, like military age or whatever, for essentially conscription.
Anyone rich is getting out of there.
Of course.
Well, some people said they have to drive, like they couldn't get a flight, but they drove out of there.
Yeah, for sure. And you probably bribe.
And now are they stopping you at the border?
Yeah, you probably bribe them. Like
if you're rich,
if you're rich, you bribe them or something or whatever. It's such a corrupt country. Sorry, but so they're trying to make these videos, being like, man, like Russia's awesome. Like America, you think you're going to go to America is way better?
Yeah.
It's like America's crap.
And the video is this guy that's with his family and he's like, I'm going to go to America. That's really, really good. Can't wait to get to America. Then he's on the plane and they're like, could you speak quieter? Your voice is offensive to people that speak loud. And then he goes, I'm going to eat meat. And they go, oh, eating meat's, she's a vegan.
Yeah, she's a vegetarian.
So you can't eat meat. And then they get up and then a black guy stands up and they make him bow down to the black guy.
Yeah, he cuts the line or whatever. He goes, African Americans have been
black guys get to cut the line and he has to go and pray to the black guy.
Which honestly, I'm like, where did the black guy come from to be in a Russian propaganda?
Well, you told me that the guy was like really famous.
No, so the main guy, my mom, I showed her and she goes, yeah, that guy's like one of the most famous actors in Kazakhstan.
Wild.
More famous than Borat. But he is, and she's like, he probably got so much money.
So yeah, Russia.
Or he just got his family back. It's one of those two things.
Yeah, the only thing, it was almost like some of it where you're like, that is kind of like American things, obviously, but like the vegan one was like, they were like pushing really hard. That was almost like the main point of the ad was like, you can't eat meat in America. And
the funniest one,
I don't know, that one's not
was
really
the girl in the
all.
front seat turns behind. She goes, where are you going? He goes, we're going to America. She goes, America's the best. And then she says, oh, my husband's coming back. And then her husband comes back and it's just like this fat chick. Who doesn't even look like a butch lesbian, like totally just like normal but super fat. And she goes, I'm Emily. Like it's all these increasingly like, dude, here's the thing too.
The vegan part was the only part that didn't make. There was kind of like, that's not a, like the other ones were like a parody of what it's like, but the one where they say you can't eat meat, I was like, you can eat that.
The crazy thing though is like
the vegans have no power.
They're supposed to be so smart with these psyops and these like psychological games. Man, if they just did like a casting call in New York to write that sketch, that could have been actually like really good.
That might have been working. You don't know. That could have been crushing.
Maybe in Russia people see that they go, yes, America very bad.
No, well, if you don't really know and they're like, hey, you can't really eat meat in America, I can understand thinking that'd be bad.
Yeah,
and then you go,
but I don't think
all the husbands are fat girls. That's gross. I don't want anything to do with that.
They still get Western media. I don't think they think that.
I don't think they probably get that much of it these days. I don't think.
But they got it previous enough to know that they go like, unless a lot's changed in 6 months.
So there's that. It was the other way, but here it was like there was another funny one. Okay, so they basically 15,000 Ukrainians have decided to do a mass orgy if Russia deploys nuclear weapons. So they're trying to sort of stop it. They go, yeah, if you better if.
This is the most chick response to like ending a war. He goes, we're just gonna have a mass orgy. Take that, Putin. He goes, all right.
Yeah, Putin, if you do this. Well, they all agreed to get on Capitol Hill and they were going to do an orgy if Russia
and then he gets
nukes them.
Yeah, and he gets the thing. He goes, oh, I guess nukes are off the table.
It is one of the biggest things right now, though. Anyone who has anything sort of against this. There'll be people that are like the biggest, like a pretty long career of, having like nuance points or whatever. They'll say any version of like, okay, maybe we should try to like de-escalate this thing or whatever. And then every person's like quote tweeting them like this guy's a Russian spy.
I mean,
like people that work for the government are doing that. They're doing it with Elon Musk. Like
the Vice article came out and they said that Elon talked to Putin.
Yeah, then it turns out
then Elon's like, I haven't talked to him in 18 months.
That's one of the best things with like Elon Musk is that they literally say they'll go, this happened, and in real time he's just like, nope, and he has bigger following than all the blogs.
Oh, he has bigger following than every media organization combined.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's like it's hard to like talk shit about him.
I mean, I don't think they were even saying talking shit. They just said because he did something about.
Yeah, but he's like, I met with Putin like 3 years ago, and it was about space stuff.
Yeah, but they said that it was about some peace strategy, and then he's just like, didn't happen.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, Vice.
Yeah, sorry, Vice.
Because you're buying you next with the fucking Twitter scraps.
That would be huge if he bought Vice, man. If Elon Musk buys Vice and just turns it into like, he calls it New Vice, and it's just like straight up for dudes like rockets.
I mean, probably just the old Vice.
Yeah.
Because we're going to turn New Vice into the old Vice into the New Vice.
Old Vice was still hipster shit. Like New Vice I'm saying New Vice is like essentially old Men's Health.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
testosterone.
Like for example, it just is interesting to see kind of like all of the moves getting deployed at once. Like anyone who goes against a thing, like the guy from India basically was like, hey, we're anti-war or whatever. We don't want to get too involved. And then they're writing all these like hit pieces at CNN and stuff like that, being like, the India guy is like basically helping Russia. And his whole deal is like, obviously, if you're in charge of India, you're probably just most parts like, yeah, I'd probably rather this not happening, but like, we're not going to ruin our country over it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, it's geopolitics. Like, that's a tough dance they have. They
basically have to do a dance.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, yeah, at the same time, he's like, we love this cheap ass oil. Like,
America is essentially going to every person and kind of, it's like you're a guy getting in a fight and then going to everyone like, let's go guys, we're getting in a fight. And everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess, right? And then he's like, so you support the other person?
Yeah, it's like a friend group splintering and then you're like taking sides.
They're all just trying
to,
every country's sort of trying to like stay in the good books with America, but also be in the fight.
They got to be in everybody's good books.
So they're sort of like, yeah, it's the equivalent of like your buddy having like a baby shower and you're like, listen, I'm not going to this whole thing. I'll send you $100. How about that?
Totally. And India's getting bullied because they're like, we have so many people. Why are we getting bullied by these way smaller countries?
Yeah. We'll send you $100. They go, $100? You go, how much do I have to send you for you not,
Yeah.
But the India one, they're writing like crazy stuff about India. They go, New Delhi's actions are propping up Putin's regime, and the actions are kind of like not cutting off all. The actions are like,
well, they're buying their oil. They are buying.
Yeah, but they're just not changing anything.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, they're continuing to buy.
They're not
oil.
like bankrupting their country and starving themselves and like having no like a
like
energy
Europe
problem.
is doing. Yeah, like they're not. You're like, yeah, we don't need an energy crisis,
and they're like, we gotta.
We already have enough problems.
So like, we kind of actually feel like you do need an energy crisis. Yeah. And my favorite one on the topic, they said, could a small nuclear war reverse global warming? And I saw like 3 different articles like this where people were coming out and being like, actually, it's not even the worst if we get into a nuclear war because it'll be good for global warming.
Crazy what Greta Thunberg does to fucking people's brains about this shit. You go, let's follow this girl, and now we're like pro-nuclear war.
It is like...
Also... They test nukes.
When's she starting her OnlyFans? Because she's like 20 now, right?
I don't know. Once everybody's done with her bullshit, but
she's still out there doing things. I go, that is one of the biggest psyops when you look back and you go, there was an entire half of this country that was like, hey, this like 14-year-old girl, she's going to be the voice for all of us if knows what she's talking about.
And it was financed by the Russian government. It was like, this was like literally all the promotion of her was essentially financed by the Russians.
Because it helped screw over America.
With this whole energy policy and stuff. Yeah, but like the whole thing is they go...
Which is nuts.
Yeah, but like they test nukes, right? Like nuclear missiles do get tested in like the middle of the ocean. So if it's going to fix climate, just go drop a bunch of them in the middle of the ocean. Why do we have to drop them on people?
Well, you have to understand probably what their parameters are for what fixes the climate. Like the first one is like, what fixes the climate is like everyone dying. Yeah. Like, the stuff that fixes the climate also has a lot of people in poverty. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's that meme with the black guy where it's like you can't have a climate crisis if nobody's alive.
What kind of is? A little bit is kind of that. But anyways, that's enough of that. Here's
falls under this is the fog of war, where
I'm not foggy though. I'm seeing it all in real time.
No, but I'm saying all these things fall under that where like 10 years later you look and you go, I can't believe we were writing articles saying that nuclear weapons, bombs were good.
But because of the internet, I feel like there's enough people noticing it now. And it's like, yo, you guys are crazy. So they're trying to stop everyone. Yeah. It's like, yo, you guys are out of your fucking minds.
Well, I'm confident.
You're right, though. They convinced, like, They convinced, college girl bloggers that you're into fucking war now.
Yeah.
By the way,
a
war chick.
I don't think we covered
Get some war paint on that non-binary head of yours.
Yeah, and ideally if it's their period blood or the period blood of one of their sisters or trans sisters. But the Joe Biden thing where he goes, 2 words, made in America.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest.
Come on,
Come
dude.
on, man.
Come on, pal.
It was so good.
Biden's pushing it.
So good.
He's not.
But like,
messing
dude,
around.
that is like it's like a comedy movie. Like, I got 2 words.
Of course.
And then
it's a president in like a cartoon.
it's like Leslie Nielsen or something. Or like it's like National
Naked Gun
Lampoon.
Guy. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is another thing. So there's like a non-binary House of Dragons star.
Yeah.
And it's obviously like one of the things where the non-binary chicks are just like usually like a white chick that's like a lesbian or whatever.
Short haircut. I looked it up. she just has like, she looks like an English soccer player or something.
Right.
She has like that funny, like the chav haircut, that's like kind of trendy. It's like it's like a bowl cut-ish look.
Yeah, non-binary is its own thing where you basically are a girl. Like 90% of non-binary. It's either, okay, this is what non-binary is. It's either like a dude that actually dresses like a chick, or a
guy in a dress, but like not a trans person.
Yeah, you go, but I'm not completely. You're basically like you're probably will go trans, but you're just testing out the waters. That's what guy non-binary looks like. Girl non-binary is you're like a girl, but you try to look like a robot.
It's honestly, guy non-binary is just straight androgynous. It's like what they were already doing in the 70s.
But it's not that
80s.
androgynous. It's like you just put women's clothing on, but you
That's
look
what
like
I'm saying.
a guy
And they'll have a
style.
little like mascara.
And you have makeup on, yeah.
Blush or eyeshadow or something. And like, you're like, I'm non-binary.
But the girl non-binary is you try to look like a robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like Justin Bieber, kind of.
Or a little, but that's just always
Bieber-ish.
lesbians were always doing that. That's how
Yeah.
many lesbian comics have like I look like Justin Bieber jokes.
That's true. That is a good point. Like a lot.
Right?
Many.
Very many. But anyway, she's like so she's basically like a chick with just a haircut. Oh, right.
They're a chick.
Oh, my bad.
They're a chick.
But she's been doing this like press tour, and she said, she goes, the House of Dragon star reflects on playing a woman. I'm really good at it. So she's still got the chops to play a woman, even though she hasn't wanted
It's like riding a bike.
But it's so funny and be like,
to even say that.
She's doing the press tour, and they're like, obviously you're not a woman, so do you find it hard to play like a gender that you're not? And she's like, you know what? I used to be able to do it, and somewhere deep down inside, my ability to act like a woman's still in there.
Still there. Maybe she has an acting coach. She goes, just to refresh.
Yeah, she's trying to
Add a
tap into when she
refresher.
used to be a woman. But then again, it also doesn't even make sense because you go, well, you weren't always non-binary, you were a woman, and then you switched to non-binary. It's like, no, I was always non-binary. And it was like, so you've never been a woman.
Well,
so what the fuck do you know about being a woman?
Well, she was both, or they're both.
No, but I think the idea would
I've
be
always
like,
been a man, and I've always been a woman.
right, okay.
Yes.
No, but they're not either. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
I think if they're going to say the rules, like, like you shouldn't be playing a trans person or whatever, non-binary people should only get to play non-binary people.
I mean, it's reasonable. I will say something I saw interesting because the whole like diversity stuff in film where you can only play your thing, right? But I have seen a friend of ours who's not Jewish play a character who is Jewish, and he's like a POC. So they're letting it go the other way.
What's POC? What is he?
Like he's Hispanic.
And he's playing.
He's playing someone who's clearly Jewish. Like their name is Jewish.
Wasn't enough Jewish actors in Hollywood?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, you wouldn't like it if a Jew played a Hispanic person. That's for sure.
Oh, right.
A lot of revenge going on right now. There's a lot of revenge happening right now.
Well, people can't decide if Jewish is a protected group or not, because you're right. Why, if they are a protected group, then why aren't they protected from that?
The Jew face thing that what's her face made us stink about, Sarah Silverman.
Well, they didn't like that they made the nose bigger.
The nose bigger, right? But then also like a Jew should play a Jew as well. I think that was the point they were trying to make us in that thing. And then, yeah, it's just they're all over the map with this stuff. And like, he's a buddy of mine. I have no issue with it. He's great.
Oh, I couldn't give a shit about
I
him
couldn't give
plays
two fucks about it. But I'm just like, I saw it and I go, that's kind of interesting. That the casting directors are allowing that because they know what they're doing. And you could have just changed his last name.
Anyone where you don't have to change your skin, I think should be allowed. Like, I don't think there's any problem with like an Iranian guy play an Afghanistan guy if he can look like it enough. You know
Or
what I
a
mean?
white guy if he can do the accent.
Or a white guy.
Tanned white guy or
Sure,
Spanish,
or if
whatever.
you're like an Italian guy that's super like olive and you want to play like a Iranian guy, like none of that should be off limits. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree that if you're gonna live by those rules, you
Right.
don't get to pick and choose when you like them and when you don't like them.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the day, this is casting directors who are doing this, right?
Well, the casting directors are doing it, but I think some people are okaying it. Like,
Of course, someone, I know. So interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. The non-binary still gets to play. She gets her pick of the litter now.
Yeah.
She can play all. That's if that's the case where you go, if you're non-binary, you get to play girl, guy, everything. You go, okay, every girl actor is like, yeah, guess what? I'm non-binary.
And you probably will start
Which
seeing
is
that
already
as they
happened.
start
I
getting.
think you are starting to see
Yeah,
that.
they go like, I'm disadvantaged by not being non-binary.
It's like this crazy concept that people move to make moves that benefit them.
Yeah. That ones where you don't even have to do much. You're like, I have to buy a few different shirts.
I got bangs.
couple pair of slacks. I have bangs.
Speaking to the Independent, they opened up about accepting the role as a woman and their concerns over the move, including the potential for being misgendered. So that was their big problem.
You really run the risk of being misgendered when you play a woman.
Yeah. That's fucking
Do you think
nuts.
Robin Williams had that problem? He goes, oh, really hope I don't get misgendered.
That's one of his biggest problems with Robin. I really like playing a woman. I'm really good at it. The worst case scenario is people suddenly tell me what I can and can't play, like they're doing everybody else.
Yeah, like, hey, welcome to
Yeah.
acting.
You don't want to be a girl anymore? You want to be like maybe a guy?
Yeah.
Did you see that one that was like going pretty viral? But there's this like woman that transitioned into a guy, and he kind of is a guy now, and he sort of came out being like, "Yeah, this is a bad idea." This whole, like his trans thing. Have you seen him? He's sitting in a car and he does these videos.
This was the person who they said they were like had some personality disorder,
I don't know about that.
and that's like they had like the mastectomy and like they had like a bunch of stuff.
They got all the stuff, but they're going bald. So the guy's like 19 years old, right? He's like, he's like, basically, I used to be like a decent looking girl. Now I'm just like a bald 19-year-old dude that doesn't have a dick. Like,
But it was like they were like, I want to go back to being a woman.
well, he's kind of saying, I think it's too far gone. He's already he already no tits, like bald.
Yeah,
Now you're better off sticking it out as a guy if you're bald.
Yeah.
I guess you maybe say like, hey, if I stop taking all this stuff, does the hair grow back? But you maybe get a transplant or wear a wig or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of the gender people are, or not gender people, but people who are like against the stuff, of all the surgery and all the medical intervention. They're saying like, look, they're too young. People change their minds about this stuff.
Well, that's the thing when you see like Elliot Page too. It's like, obviously, like Elliot Page's life's gonna be fine because it's like a big celebrity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if Elliot Page was like a normal person, you're just like this wimpy little like 4'7" dude now.
Yeah.
And if you're like this 4'7" bald dude that kind of looks weird, and then on top of that, you don't have a penis. Like, imagine you went to school and you were in high school and there was just a guy that was like 5 foot, like bald, wimpy, no penis.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that guy's life would have been good?
No, not particularly.
That's what I'm saying, though,
what
right?
the drama club's for,
It's like
though.
maybe the worst life available, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is what this person says. Like, I'm going to transition to a guy, and then
Well, especially if you change your mind. There's one thing if you go, at least I'm like, okay, I'm on this side now and I got that out of the way and I'll figure out how to be this person. But if you go, I don't like this person and I did all this shit and I have to go back now.
But I think that one of the things is once the attention's done and like, especially as you get older, maybe you're not hanging out with all those people that are into this stuff. It's like, you're just actually like a dude now. You work a job and you're just like, man, my life was better before.
Grass is always greener.
Oh, yeah. Going to take another quick break here to tell you about a podcast, actually, called The Commercial Break. And our pals at The Commercial Break Comedy Podcast are paying us cold hard cash to speak highly about their podcast. Have you ever asked yourself one of the following questions? Why would someone want to date a ghost? Should I learn or speak a Martian light language? What's it like to be married to a cat? Or why don't television preachers have bigger airplanes? Of course you haven't. You have better things to do with your time, but fear not, the Commercial Break Comedy Podcast has plenty of time to waste answering these important questions and so much more. The Commercial Break is one of Apple's top 3 improv comedy podcasts and available on all major podcast players at youtube.com/The Commercial Break. So they did a sponsor. Just check them out. It is a comedy podcast that's popping off. 2 longtime best friends, Brian and Chrissy, together each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to discuss life, love, and the pursuit of absurdity. Sinister masters, ridiculous MLM companies, alien light language, TV dating shows, monster humans, terrible psychic readings, and more. The Commercial Break hosts use their unlikely friendship and personal life stories as a backdrop to discuss some of the most insane, trending topics from around the globe. So, the Commercial Break is available wherever you find your comedy podcasts, or visit tcbpodcast.com. That is tcbpodcast.com, or you can go to youtube.com/The Commercial Break. And if you check it out, tell them the BOYSCAST sent you in the comments. The Commercial Break. It's not for everyone, but at least it's free. There was a mom. This is a tango.
Shout out to the moms.
Shout out to the moms. Yes, I'm a mom who still nurses my 3-year-old son.
Is that old?
I think that so they're sort of doing it like an empowerment thing. Like, well, yeah, that's fucking right. I'm nursing my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even want it.
At 3 years old, my middle son wakes up as a different animal every morning. You know what it is, kind of? There's a lot of things that people should probably like keep to themselves, and they always did keep to themselves. And then everyone's like, you should be open and honest about everything and, put all your things out in the forefront. And then they do it. And everyone's like, yeah, but there's also like real people out here, you freak.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, again, this just seems like everybody just like wants to be the blogger or some shit. So, what do I blog? Like, a stay-at-home mom. You go like, what do I blog about?
Well,
the fact that I
I got this fucking 8-year-old sucking my titties nonstop.
That does well.
I always like the idea of like a mom having the kid there with the titties in the public, got the titties out, and you go, listen, I got no problem with you breastfeeding on the subway as long as I can have kills.
You gonna finish that?
He tells me by which he's calling my name Mama Dragon or Mama Bear or Mama Owl. He calls me by my name, and I give him a first name. All right. Deborah, let's go. Puppies, Deborah.
Deborah Milky time.
Puppies, Debbie. Deborino, let's go. Baby's hungry. Yo, milking your kid past, like, when your kid's walking,
they say
it's getting weird.
Like they need to up till 1, and then after that it's just for fun.
It's just for the kids having fun.
Kids just like some milk.
And the mom just likes it too a little bit. Not until breakfast, I tell him. You know the rule. Once you're having like debating over when he gets the titties, and he was like, I want my titties now.
Yeah, he could speak and totally verbalize his desire for
smoking
titty
a
milk.
cigarette.
He goes, Mom, that is my breakfast. Mom.
I want my brekkie, and I want it now. I like the left first and then the right.
He's drinking a coffee. He's like, top me up. Extra cream.
If your kid's drinking coffee, he's probably a little old to be breastfeeding. That's what's happening. Yeah, this kid's he's eating a power. He's got
bar. The Wall Street Journal open, drinking a coffee. He goes, mother.
He's got the Wall Street Journal open. He's cooking just the egg whites. He knows how to do this. He doesn't want his cholesterol to get up there.
To the roof, and he goes,
Mother,
some titty milk.
Let me quote the Bloodhound Gang here. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. My breasts are mine and not my husband's, and they are not my son's. They are first and foremost my own, but also she might have wanted to do the second part of the quote, which is let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. When you're talking about your son, probably not the best quote.
No, probably that's, she goes, her editor was like, yeah, they're going to take away your kids for that line.
Yeah,
so
probably don't put that.
Maybe omit that.
And I've chosen to use them for extended breastfeeding. Their biological their purpose, but it's just funny that like it's kind of one of those things where probably people in a normal life being like, bit weird, Deborah. And she's like, well, I'll put it to the internet community and I'll find a few people that tell me I'm a fucking queen for doing this.
Of course. I mean, there's a scene for anything.
There's nothing you can't find your people for on the internet.
Nothing. It's weird that she's doing it to teach consent too. That's like the bizarrest. That's how she wraps this whole thing up. She goes, I'm really doing this because I want to teach my 3-year-old about consent. And you're
Right.
like, he's not making memories.
Also,
He's making memories.
He's
though.
making
You know what I
memories.
mean?
Probably. No, the idea is, I guess this kid will kind of be home and she'll be like, Mommy, I wanted to get some titties and none of the girls will show me my titties. Do you think I can just grab them? He's like, no, you grab mine though.
Yeah, but ask first. He
Yeah.
goes, Can I? He goes, yeah. Yeah, that's how you make a JJ right there.
Do you know how they have that, the thing that says strong men, or like strong men create easy times,
Yeah.
easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times or whatever. They were doing, I can't remember what it was, but some version of.
Someone sent it to me today. You must get it the same person.
You know the same
the
one?
boobs or whatever.
It is the
I
boobs.
laughed at it too. Actually, someone said that, and I go, "This is pretty funny."
Maybe he didn't
like,
take a screenshot of it. It says, easy to see breasts create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy to see breasts. So yeah, like it's the cycle. It's like how easy and hard times are depend on like how easy to see breasts are.
Breasts are easy to see now.
When guys are strong men, then the breasts are easy to see because the girls want to show the boobs for the strong men, and then they put the boobs out. When the boobs are really easy to see, it creates weak men.
Yeah, it's a vicious-
which when I grabbed my phone, I realized that I gotta show you something. Okay, so there was another meme drop,
Dude, 5,000. It was like WikiLeaks or something.
So, Oldhead memes, which I think you might be right, it might be a girl. They drop their
is a
memes
girl.
like a drop, so they just dropped like 100 at once, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was crazy. My whole fucking Instagram was just Oldhead memes. Hey, you could tell the ones that were legit ones versus the ones they made because the font looks like.
They make them all.
I thought some of them do.
You're trying to fucking
I think some of them are found.
besmirch. If you work overtime at McDonald's, are you working a McDouble? Please don't delete me. So that's that one. Nowadays, to have a girlfriend, you must be physically, emotionally, vehically, and walletly fit. Walletly.
I know. Wallet technically.
Not even a joke. That's why I think sometimes it might be a guy.
No, I'll tell you why I think it's a woman.
It's maybe a husband-wife team.
No, if you go look at who Oldhead memes follows, which is
Girl stuff?
it's all chicks. No, it's all just like women.
I noticed
Maybe it's a guy. I don't know.
that when y'all get them bodies done, y'all delete every picture from when y'all was shaped like a brake pad. The Oldhead memes this week were especially bad.
Yeah.
They don't even have punchlines.
No.
Okay, 2 more. My mother sent me a friend request and I declined it. I'm not one of your little friends, remember?
I think Oldhead memes might have jumped the shark.
Them Oldhead memes. Do you think they sold the property and someone else is doing the Oldhead memes?
No, I just
couldn't
think
do them good enough?
I think they were finding the best of the best from the last 20 years, and then they ran out and they go, "What are we doing?"
They started making
and
them.
we got to make them. And you're like, "Good luck."
It's kind of like when someone's been plagiarizing and then they've got to make one on their own.
Of course, you're like, "Good fucking luck on that."
Cooking together is not romantic. You in my way. These are not good.
No.
This is not the Oldhead memes I remember.
This is new head memes.
Yeah, Oldhead memes was way better. You also didn't like an article that someone sent. Men are more likely than women to engage in social sexual behavior for personal gain. And it's most often men in lower positions who initiate it, researchers report.
Fuck off.
Fortune.com.
Literally, fuck off. Yeah, men are more likely to flirt their way to the top of a business.
So
just a tale as old as time, Ryan.
So the premise of the article is basically they're saying that they did all this big study and that women actually, they do flirt sometimes, but men are more likely to flirt. And contrary to what you believe, it's not the boss that flirts. It's actually guys in lower positions that flirt with their female bosses
Sure.
to try to
get
up
promotion.
the promotions and exert power and all this sort of stuff.
I mean, there's no shortage of stories you've heard of some dude who ate pussy for a promotion, right? You go,
Yeah.
you eat this pussy and I'll see to it that you'll be a VP.
This study also, it was like, they basically brought people into like a fake office setting and they like did studies.
I
Like,
brought Sharon Stone in and she did the thing with the crossing the legs and then...
yeah, none of this made any sense.
No.
The audacity of Fortune.com to, it's like, oh, we did this weird. It's kind of one of those studies where they say like, the WNBA is actually more interesting based on this study. And it was just like, no, guys don't flirt their way up the corporate ladder.
No, like it's just unheard of.
It's not. It just, even if it is heard of, it is very rare. If anything, flirting with your boss these days gets you fired as a dude.
Of course, it's like for sure. And I mean, women are so much more on the lookout for that kind of thing. Like, they're probably way more like, hey, what's going on? Where a guy will be like, oh, like they'll be more a guy will be more inviting of a girl flirting with them because guys are stupid like that.
Yeah. And
also, a
also
woman will be like, I know exactly what you're doing.
Sure. And also the boss thing where they're like, oh, the bosses are less likely to flirt in this scenario. It's like, well, the bosses don't flirt because they don't want to get fired. So that's like, most bosses are like, any female employee that's lower than you, treat them like a fucking sister. Not to say that there aren't people fucking still out there getting fired.
Of course there are.
It is with all the things right now. Because one thing before you could say, I always, when they're like, oh, 10 years ago it's this, and they want to, take everything in now standards. But nowadays, I think most people that run big companies are like, handle all female employees like with extreme caution. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, yeah, you're asking for trouble.
You are asking for trouble. So at this point, it's like, it is what it is.
Because you don't even necessarily need to do anything. They just need to feel like slighted in some way, and then because
be careful.
Yeah, you got to be very careful.
But for them to try to actually justify a study where they're like, we've got to the bottom of it, and it turns out
we were all wrong.
Men in lower positions flirt their way up the corporate ladder by trying to fuck their superiors.
Yeah, so you go, see, all those male CEOs, they didn't get there based on merit. They got there based on their flirting abilities. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Other ones.
Yeah, Bill Gates and some other ones.
Warren Buffett. Just best flirters.
So you were calling bullshit on this study?
Oh my God. In the first 1 second, I was like, this
not only are men more likely than women to engage in this type of behavior, the research has concluded, but it's most often men in lower positions. The researchers also examined how men and women differ in their flirtation strategy. They found that men, but not women, turn up the harassment with coworkers. So men's flirting to get up the corporate. But a lot of it too could be saying, you go, all these men were flirting. It's like, well, those guys might have been at the study actually trying to smash.
Maybe, yeah. They go, this study's bullshit, huh? What are you doing after this?
Right. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like they're all paid there for the study.
Yeah.
Like they're just actors.
Look at this guy trying to fucking work his way up the corporate ladder. Including bosses, when they perceive they have little power. Or maybe, because it's one of those things where you're like, hey, I've got to... I'm just working at this job. They can fire me. I don't really give that much of a shit. Why don't I shoot my shot?
Sure.
They have less to lose shooting their shots. The only explanation for that. But it has nothing to do with trying to get ahead in the workplace.
No, because that's such a risky maneuver if you're wrong. Like if you miscalculate that, you're just like trying to smash your boss.
Stop it.
And she's just like, I'm married. Like, are you fucked?
So there's this like big story that happened in Utah, it's like pretty aggressive, but also pretty funny. So this former therapist, who's like a Mormon, like priest kind of thing, right? He was arrested for ritualistic child sex abuse involving 130 kids, right? And it's like obviously bad, but the stuff the guy said is fucking nuts.
Mental.
The former therapist arrested in this case. One alleged victim, Brett Bluth, said that his then therapist knew a therapeutic ritual that would heal him of his homosexuality.
Been there, done that, doesn't work.
So he says, we know a way to heal you of your homosexuality. He started suggesting that the semen of a righteous man would then undo the damage that the semen of unrighteous man had done. That's basically like you kind of say if a girl's too slutty, it's like, I can unslut you, babe.
Yeah, I can sell you with just a good dicking down.
Righteous man semen.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy thought he had game too, right? So he's basically getting these guys in there that he goes, yo, if you're a homo, I can unhomo you. Yeah. But I need to get rid of that homo.
But he ungays them by doing some like pretty gay stuff.
He ungays.
Like does he like he goes, I'm not gay.
No, we're not gay. This is how you ungay. It seems great. I guess the scenario is, I've heard people say some version of this though, when it's like, when you're kind of like, oh, this is the only person that ever helped you. It's like, you know that you're getting molested, but you're kind of like, yeah, but like, you know, this guy's giving me a roof over my head.
Right.
Kind of thing.
It becomes a transaction.
So this guy, it probably was one of those things where everyone's like, listen, like, I'm going to let you do this, but you don't have to give me this whole spiel about how you're unhomoing me.
But the thing is, he was paid. He wasn't doing this for free. Like, the parents still paid. And this happened.
So it's basically the parents are bringing them to this guy to unhomo them.
Yeah. And the crazy, it's like, how do you do this and think you're just going to get away with this?
He got away with 130 of them.
I guess, you know what? It's probably a thing that happens a lot with criminals like this, is they go like, I keep getting away with it, so why would I ever get caught?
Dude, he said his semen was the semen of a righteous man, and it would undo the damage of the semen of unrighteous men. He put his arms on the back of the sofa and put his other arm back, and then he waited, and we sat there in silence. He put his hands on my head and gave me a Mormon priesthood and blessed the sperm.
Ugh.
Do you think that there's any guys that have tried some version of that?
Yes.
Blessed sperm?
Oh, dude.
There's got to be some like old school black fucking priest like guys, you know what I mean?
Cult leaders, all those.
Cult leaders for sure. Saying you've got blessed sperm. Yo, baby, come back to my place. I got that blessed. Sperm. Yo, blessed.
Bernie Mac, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
My sperm is blessed.
My sperm is blessed. But I'll tell you what would be bad, though, if you were one of the kids reading this and you go, wait, that sperm wasn't blessed?
Wait,
I'm still gay?
I've been blessed this whole time?
Wait, I'm still gay?
What a revelation.
Wait, you got to be crazy. I'm still gay?
Mormons be wild.
So I did a bit of a autosexual deep dive. I don't know if I sent
Which
you
one? No, you didn't send me this. What is the autosexual? These are the ones who jerk off to themselves in the
So
mirror?
they're in love with themselves, yes. And then, so we've been saying we're going to go through the autosexual Reddit, right? And people have been clamoring for it.
Yeah.
But the autosexual Reddit, okay. So it's not safe for workplace. That's one thing you should know.
Ooh.
So I consider myself gender fluid. All of the autosexuals are.
Sorry for involuntarily rolling my eyes.
What percentage do you think the autosexuals are just like some, dude that works at the plant, but he's fucking married to himself?
Oh, but then he's like, well, I'm not gay, so.
Oh yeah, you've got it.
That's the problem.
All of the autosexuals are some version of like wacky gender things.
You have to, because otherwise, then you're like then you're gay.
Or if you're a guy that you're like, oh, I'm attracted to myself when you're a woman, you're like, now I'm dressing up like a woman. Now I'm changing everything.
Yeah, right. So it's a tough one. You have to.
So I consider myself gender fluid, which basically means the way that I see myself, and the world switches regular from masculine and feminine perspective. So it's a kind of like, oop, I'm a guy. Oop, I'm over here. Ooh, get my girl now. And then you run through the person's legs. I'm a guy. You know what I mean? It's one of the. What I find interesting is discovering my autosexuality, is the way I feel attracted to myself. When I'm in a feminine state, I'm very attracted to my masculine qualities. And when I'm in a masculine quality, I'm very attracted to my feminine qualities.
Sounds like a multiple personality type deal.
Of course. So basically, it's kind of like, if you're feeling very feminine, the beard start growing out. You go, oh, look at that little beard you got going on there. Big boy with a big beard.
Mental.
For example, yeah, when I'm feeling very feminine, I'm attracted to the fact that I have a dick. But
what would happen if two autosexuals get together?
They would be disgusted with each other.
Yeah, they're like I don't know.
They go, I'm taken. I'm taken too.
So they're just like a life of solitude.
Yes, it's two people. Obviously, there's my personality.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they're like I want to be all autosexuals.
I think they can be buddies. You know what I mean? They can go on a double date with someone else.
And it's just two of them, though.
Yeah.
We're on a double date. You go, oh, is the other couple coming? No, they're here. They're here. I don't know what that was about.
Oh, yeah, that's you showing up to the family gathering. You said you're bringing a date? Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're okay. So college has been good to you, it seems like. Hey, your parents said that you're bringing a date to the family gathering? Yeah, me. Okay, so definitely. Probably that whole gender studies degree has been working wonders for you.
You know it.
You know it. I'm in love with myself. They sing songs for each other, you know what I mean?
Of course.
What would I do without myself?
Put it on me.
So baby, me, put it on me. What would I do without me? So love songs. I've Been kissed by myself on the hand. It's Jennifer Lopez is what it is.
It is Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, it's 100% Jennifer Lopez.
So I'm trying to think of some better love songs.
Do you ever think they do the semen thing where they...
And I would catch a grenade for me. that'd be a twist of fate.
Do you ever think they
catch the grenade for the person and then you both die?
Do you ever think they ever go see themselves and then do the semen thing to undo the thing so they should go back to normal like the last guy?
I think that's what happens.
I saw myself, I come to myself, and now I'm back to normal. Oh.
I was in love with myself, and then I drank my own cum, and now I guess I am on the market again.
That's the Tinder bio.
That would be a good thing of like fighting with yourself. Though. Look, you let yourself go. You don't even try anymore. You look like a woman. It's like you look like a woman because they meet in the middle, right? Because the one side of them likes a guy and the one side of them likes a girl. You know what I mean? So they're kind of like, look at you. You look like a fucking guy. You dress like a tomboy. It's like I dress like a tomboy. You're wearing girls' clothes right now. What do you think about that? I'm an attractive woman. You got a fucking beard on. It's like, beard. What about these? I got the designer sunglasses on. It's like, yeah, you got a girl's haircut. Yeah, I am a man, so I will.
It's trendy. And you're just back and forth.
So you're just arguing with yourself. Yeah, because then you go a little more masculine, and then the other side of you's like, what about me? I guess they're not doing that, though. They're physically attractive.
Totally same thing to do.
So it sounds like the best way to describe it is they sort of consider their body almost not their body. That's probably the best way to describe what these weirdos are up to. If they kind of have like a person that says like, listen, it's like their mind is looking at their body almost like it's not their body. Yeah. That's probably a good way to describe it.
And they're not... See, I still feel like they're narcissists, like narcissists.
You sort of see it more like that. I see it more.
I mean, I don't see how you can't masturbate
they're detached
to
from their
yourself.
physical form. That's the only way I can describe it.
Like they're above themselves, like on a.
Do you know what I mean?
Like
so it's
DMT.
You're not like jerking off yourself. You're jerking off like a dude. Have you ever had like an out of body experience?
On DMT once, yeah.
If you jacked off, would it feel like you're jacking off just some fucking fat dude?
I was so incapacitated that I don't even think I could have. Like I was above myself, watching myself on like a couch, and I was like.
So you weren't getting into the whole hanky panky?
No, there was no hanky panky. I did wake up and my belt was undone.
Oh, okay. You were about to fucking. That's
some questions there. Danny, you dog. What did you get up to here?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, have you ever had that where you get so drunk and you're like, I'm gonna spank it, and then you wake up and you like gave up halfway? Never?
I don't think so.
You've never given up.
Fell asleep during it?
Or like you were, maybe I could do it. You start maybe grab the laptop and then you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, well, for sure.
For sure I've done that.
Woo. I'm like,
but that is funny. You don't remember?
Not the time.
Yeah, they're an autosexual that you're like, I was too drunk to consent, you know? Danny, you're
down at the police station filing report.
Your shirt's on backwards.
So who perpetrated this crime on you? And you go, you're looking at him.
Yeah. I'd like you to take me away, boys. Take me away, boys. The problem is, I feel like if you go down the rabbit hole of like indulging everyone's like weird things, there's nowhere you can stop. There's nowhere you can draw the line.
Of course, the moment you indulge one weird thing, you go, well, why not my thing? Why not my thing?
Another last 4 years has been like almost a clinic in like proving conservative slippery slope thing right.
For sure. I mean, dude, we've said it before. We were even saying this 2 years ago. They're like, what, Nick, marrying like a dog? And you're like, yeah.
They just made polyamorous marriages like recognized by law.
I know. I saw that in New York, right?
You and your two boyfriends are going to be fucking cooking. That's almost bad, though, too, because when you have your two boyfriends, you like, guys, we can't do it. Now you're going to have to do a prenup with your two boyfriends.
That story, too, for people who don't know, it was 3 gay dudes who were in a poly relationship, and then one of them died, and the two of them were in an apartment.
So they're saying we're common law.
They were saying because they wanted to keep the apartment. It's honestly like a rom-com kind of like, or like a movie, premise where you're like, in order to keep the apartment, they have to say they're married.
It's a real Chuck and Larry situation. Yeah.
But they are really gay. And then they had to have their throuple recognized legally to say like, hey, you can't kick them out because that actually is... Their two boyfriends were common law real boyfriends.
That's 100% one of those.
Yeah, and it was. So
3.
Imagine you're the landlord too. You're like, come on.
Yeah. The government really ruled against this one, huh?
But this will open...
it's rent control.
Because rent control, and then this will now open the door for people to fake that.
This summer, their best friend died, and there was only one way for them to get the apartment back. They had to become gaylords.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
That's what it is. And they're holding hands with you.
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends?
The only way they could keep that hot deal was to pretend to be gay. Why can't we be? But there was only one problem. They hate each other.
You got what I need. The apartment. You say he's just a friend. No, I didn't. I said we're gay lovers.
Yeah.
But there was like a video of him like saying, "Oh, this is my body," but you said he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. And then they're homeless,
Classic.
for a bed. They're, sleeping on the streets, and because the one guy didn't want to be gay, and then he finally comes down and he goes, "Hey, what do you want? I'm homeless because of you. What'd you say we go get that apartment back? Why can't we?
Why don't you say we go get that sweet deal on that apartment?
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?" Passionate sex scene.
I'd watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you do not think we are a throuple, I present to you Exhibit A. Come up here. Just undo that belt.
Huh? What a straight do that?
What a... Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I wasn't gay, would I have... Would I be current?
Would I have these Elton John albums?
Why can't we? So I think that's kind of what's going on with the throuple.
Yeah.
Legal. No, this is probably even a better one. They go, I say that the throuple is legal. Legal. Tender and fine. We are a throuple by committed no crime. We're legal. Tender and fine.
Snow's
Got the apartment and committed no crime.
Snow's going to copyright claim us for that bad boy.
Yeah, Snow doesn't like people fucking...
Infama.
So I think that's what happens with the throuple.
Yep.
Okay, so back to the autosexuals. Yes. Autosexual is when you like fucking bus drivers from The Simpsons. Okay. It's fascinating. The past 5 years have been self-discovery. Just how much of my appearance and personality has changed. Both my masculine qualities and my feminine qualities respectively developed simultaneously to what I'm attracted to, if that makes sense.
Which is you.
Yeah, he goes, so crazy. They're like, I'm attracted to fucking when I wear a hat, and then I've been wearing hats all the time lately.
Hat guy. I love a good hat on me.
So crazy. I like it when I wear bondage, and then I'll catch myself walking around the house in bondage outfits.
Yeah.
You like that? Just showing a little bit. Oh, yeah, you like that? What?
This mostly just
Trying to play coy a little.
Like my mental image is the guy who did Just for Laughs in the 90s who was like singing, and then they would switch profiles, and they were a woman. Like they were like straight down the middle, like a voluptuous woman on one side.
That was always a Just for Laughs gag, yeah.
No, it wasn't a gag. They were actually a performer.
Yeah,
they were like, but not a gag on the gag.
No, it was like a.
I thought, well, Just for Laughs gags.
That was their bit. Sorry,
yeah, the bit. Yeah, the skits.
That was a huge one. Is the guy
remember?
that was the guy on one side?
Remember the guy with the? Remember the guy who?
That wouldn't be that hot of a costume nowadays. Probably.
What about? Do you remember the guy who? This guy was like made a huge career. I wonder what he's doing now. But the guy who had the 5 or the 4 like dolls attached to him.
I remember the guy with
remember
the
the doll guy, and then he made them
Yeah.
all dance. He was basically like the Village People, but he had 4 dolls, and he was the middle guy.
Just for Laughs gag used to be pretty wacky back in the day. Now it's just comedians, I guess. Or activists.
I mean, it was comedy at the time. Activists.
Probably mostly now.
Yeah.
There'd be 5 dolls, and there's like Martin Luther King, like fucking Greta Thunberg.
But people are like, this is the best comedy I've ever seen.
Yeah. But those guys were that. But that's exactly what it was. So you're prancing around your apartment, just like wearing half guy clothes, half girl clothes, and you're just like, I'm finding so much about my sexuality these last 2 days. Yeah. It's a constant dance with myself, an actual dance. It's the Madonna. That was the Madonna dance.
Yeah.
You're definitely doing one of those, catching yourself in the mirror with the hands on your back. Whoa, you're getting a little frisky there, Danny.
Madonna's losing it too, huh?
What?
Madonna's losing it too.
Yeah, Madonna is definitely losing it. She had a big thing where she came out as gay. And it's like
at 70.
Yeah. That's been one of those things where didn't Madonna already say she like made out with girls like a million times? And she was having sex with
Britney
girls?
Spears, remember?
Exactly.
When she was 50.
But it is one of those things where it's like when you're 70, you can do that thing, do whatever you want if you want to try to stay relevant and get on a trend or whatever. But it's like, at this point, it's like I think there might be 90% of female pop stars have come out of some sort of a lesbian version.
Of course. And doesn't it to a degree discredit the whole thing when you go,
have you
like,
ever,
look, you didn't know until
I've
now.
never had a girlfriend. If I think of all my like 5 major girlfriends, they wouldn't like make out with a girl if like under the right circumstance.
We both had girlfriends that dated each other, Ryan.
Well, it wasn't my girlfriend.
Well, not your girlfriend, but my girlfriend dated.
No, that's when you took my sloppies.
Whatever.
I finished
my
up with this girl.
People probably don't know this, but like
I finished with this girl,
Yeah.
and then she did stuff with Danny's girlfriend. Then Danny sucked my dick off.
I didn't appreciate the taste.
That is no. I think there was crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
No, me and Danny were doing stuff with these girls.
My ex literally dated.
And I was sort of dating a girl, and then the two of them dated, which means me and you are gay.
And now they have to prove it to the judge.
That is crazy to think about, eh?
I know.
Because it was sort of in between, because I was sort of dating her, and then, know what it was? I was sort of dating, and then they sort of got together.
Well, it was when we had,
and then I sort of
split
hung
up.
out
We
with
had
her
split
again after
because we were like
So
on again, and we had split up for a period.
Yeah, it was
And so the period that me and her were split up, she took.
They were sort of comedy adjacent.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of crazy. And then the fucking
and we didn't even know until
the nutty
later.
part was to keep the apartment.
That was the wild part.
That's so funny. Yeah, so I did forget about that. But have you ever dated a girl that, like, you know, so when actresses come out and they're like, oh, I would do stuff with a girl, and you're just like, yeah, no shit, you all would almost.
Of course.
Like, unless you're fucking, you know,
For a
super
scrap
Christian
of
or some
fame
shit.
Yeah, obviously for that. But Madonna, I do wonder, because all this like lip filler stuff and face filler, like
She
it's so
looks
new.
fucking like a freak right now.
Yeah, well, she's trying to not have wrinkles, and the only way you can do it is expand the face.
You essentially, make your face look
You
like
fill the face.
It looks
out.
like you killed someone and then stretched their skin over a drum.
Dude, I don't even think she could wear like the biggest New Era hat right now.
You know what she looks like legitimately? It looks like if you took like an Indian cowhide drum and put eyes on it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. It's like, or they just like put something. Yeah, they just like fill
She
up
looks
your
like
face.
this.
That plus out like volume.
It's so crazy. Her face is so thick.
and then your eyes get so much more like sunken
It's
in.
bizarre.
But you have no.
Because you're right, she's
wrinkles.
70. Otherwise, she would look like a grandmother.
Yes. And she has like, if you look at her face, you're like, there's no wrinkles there, but it's because, but again, nobody knows what filler does to you for having it for 20 years, because nobody's had it for 20
Now
years.
they're starting to find out the
You
consequences.
fucking get batshit crazy like Madonna.
She's not looking good.
The thing is,
Let's just leave it at that. Madonna ain't looking good.
the thing is, I don't even necessarily agree with that, because she's
think she's looking good.
Well, for a 70-year-old.
Right. So you're saying you're judging
Like
her
the-
as a 50-year-old.
Yeah, if you judge her as a 70-year-old, you go, yeah, I guess.
Because otherwise, you're saying she's going to look like some old wrinkled bag.
Yeah.
And you're like, she just looks like a weird person.
Yes.
But I'll bang a weird person. I'm not going to bang an 80-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also it is kind of one of those things like, I think that age gracefully to some degree where you go, if you're 70 years old, like if your grandmother comes out, starts talking about sucking cock, you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like,
Yeah.
you're 70. Like, you don't want to hear
No.
70-year-olds talk about their
But
sexual escapades, period.
She was this crazy sex icon. So it's like, how do you
know.
get away from that? Because guys can kind of like age gracefully as the sex icon, and you go, that dude used to smash back in the day, and maybe he does now. But like women, it's, I don't know, it's just different.
Ugh. It's real. It's a lot what she looks like right now.
Yeah,
Think she's autosexual?
She's fucking something.
I'll tell you what, she's something. Well, it's a constant dance with myself. Dancing with the devil. I like giving these soundtracks. Dancing with the devil. That's because half of their face is like a guy devil situation. You know what I mean? So I developed feminine and masculine mannerisms, and each side of me is attracted to. And my physical appearance is based on a hodgepodge of feminine and masculine qualities. So it's fair to say this person is a hodgepodge of human characteristics.
Yeah. I would love some sort of Lord of the Flies scenario to get all these people of all these weird things on an island together.
Ooh.
To see how they would like kind of divvy up and be able to like run their society.
Well, they wouldn't be able to. They'd all be dead. But I think it'd be like, it'd be one of those things where you'd be like, okay, so
You're saying they wouldn't figure out how to farm.
the girls will do this, which is me, and all of us, and the guys will do this, which is also all
That's
of
what
us.
I'm saying. And people are like, what do you mean, what's a guy? And someone would be like, what do you, what's a girl? And like, oh, so we have gender roles all of a sudden? And then they'd like, just to prove a point, be sending the worst people to do the
Of
jobs.
course, it's the farmers, lawyers, farmers.
Exactly,
Or
right,
doctors,
yeah.
doctors are farmers, farmers are doctors.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate. That's the final form of society.
And they will actually come out with a new Lord of the Flies, because it's just one of those things where they'll always and they'll do
that would
this
be a tough one to
version.
make.
They'll do this version.
The
and
Lord of
they'll
the Flies, the new one, is like, okay, all the girls are all the men are gonna go hunt. Oh, you think men
Totally.
can hunt?
Didn't they have actually? Isn't that show Yellowstone?
All the guys are gay.
Wasn't Yellowstone? I think that show. There was one of those shows that is that.
Really?
Like, it's all chicks, and they get stuck in Northern Ontario.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. Apparently, I actually someone said it was good.
Yeah, you would like that.
I haven't seen it.
Fucking fairy. I'd say I'm both autosexual and autoromantic. So she's not just taking the bones, you know what I mean? She likes it to be a little romantic.
Yeah.
When she's having sex with herself, she wants a little Barry White.
She looks
comes
a
on.
little lipstick before she gets fucked by herself.
She'd like to take herself to dinner first, you know what I mean? No, not on the first date, sir. I'm the sir, you're the man. The relationship with myself is truly romantic and sexual. Yo, that's so funny. Just like the idea of sitting in your like hand the candles. I guess that's just like, I guess some people do that to masturbate, but they're not like, oh yeah, you like that, talking to themselves like another.
I mean, dudes don't.
Yeah, that's correct. I've never done that where I set up all the candles. Like
That was a joke in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
No, I play a guitar to myself. I look in the mirror and I go, it was a decorated gentleman with the heart of gold. I've seen the others.
And I've seen
the others, and I will no other. Follow me where I'm boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Yeah. So that's also, you're forgetting that this is like, if this is a dude with a dick, it's like they get romantic, but it leads up to their fucking full fist up their ass, probably.
Basically, trying to break some sort of Guinness World Record.
Most of your own arm in your fist, in your ass. Deepest your own arm can get in your own rectum. It's almost as if there's two versions of me at once. Almost. One feminine, one masculine, both in mind and personality, inhabiting one body. It's like, how many times can they say it? It's that, but not.
Like,
it's not
we get it.
that,
You don't have a personality. Fuck.
I know. Where can I look in the mirror and see my masculine and feminine? Blah, 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 blah. But they go on and they go, they're truly both me. Truly. But just me from different perspectives at the same time. The distant and dissociative. This is distant from dissociative identity disorder. So it's not that.
Yeah, well, of course. No, none of them are going to be like, we don't have a mental illness.
No, not at all.
Of course not.
So that's one. Another couple of funny ones. They go, self-cessed role play. So it's a little self-cestual.
Okay. Oh, right.
Hello
Self-cessed.
again, our autosexual. Although I'm not an autosexual, I'm very. Oh, this one's actually great. Okay, listen. This I forgot what this one is. Hello, autosexuals. Although I'm not an autosexual, I'm very into similar kink, and I would love to be your clone. I generally want to help women of this subreddit explore their attraction to themselves in the most respectful and safe way possible. Your secret will be 100% safe and confidential with me.
Yeah, you will, you dirty dog.
I love the dirty dogs.
Yeah, the dirty dog trying to sneak into the fucking autosexual. Okay. Hello, fellow autosexuals.
I love the dirty
I
dogs.
only like having sex with myself, but I could be persuaded.
To make an exception.
I will hate it, but I'll do it for you.
That's what this person says. They go, because you love having sex with yourself, I'll dress up how you dress up, so they're both wearing the same
of course.
outfit. So they dress up like twins, and this guy's banging the girl.
And he goes, I hate this, but
I'm doing this for you. This is my, contribution to the autosexual community.
well, good for him for shooting his shot.
Not to guys for shooting his shot for sure, and I respect that.
Respect it.
That's the way that these forums should be used. In a perfect world, the forums would be all fucking creep dudes trying to get the girls.
It is. I mean, a lot of it is.
Oh, this person is taking things to the next level. I asked myself to be my boyfriend. I've decided to officially date myself. I basically feel like I was already with myself, just not they didn't make it official yet. I hope that makes sense.
I love that. I hope that makes sense thing. Yeah, man.
It's like when two friends realize they have feelings for one another, and then the relationship, well, it just changes. It's been a bit like that. Things are a little different after they had sex, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they woke up in the morning. They've been having this good time, and things are just a little different now that they, he banged the shit out of himself.
Yeah.
Wake up, and he's just like reaching for something. Oh, sorry. Are you using the bathroom? Okay, I'll wash this hand while you use that hand, sort of.
Nothing's more confusing than telling one of these people when you're angry to go fuck themselves and see the response.
You know what's so funny, Danny? I'm not kidding. One of the people in this had a thread that they said, do you find it funny that when people say go fuck yourself,
Stop.
it actually turns me on? I swear on my life that was one of the ones in here. I am not kidding.
Goes, go fuck yourself, buddy. He goes,
Thank you.
Thank you. I will.
I realize now it's really only been about sex. The romance part was just there on the surface. So this person, when they got busy with themselves and they started being,
They have had feelings.
they realized
deeper feelings.
No. I think what they're saying is they realize that the person, themselves. Okay, they're realizing that they were have such buddies with themselves, right? But then after they got laid, the person was just trying to be nice to them they were just trying to be nice to themselves to get the action.
Themselves?
Yeah, they were just trying. No, they were just being. It's like a guy who after he bangs the girl, he's like, "All right, get out." And he was like, "What about all that same stuff you were saying last night about how much you loved me?" So this guy was saying all this stuff to himself, and then after he got some action, he was like, "Fuck off! You want to watch TV? Get the hell out of here! Leave me alone.
Ditch yourself.
You ditched yourself after you got the good stuff." All in all, I'm really happy with where we're at and where things are going. I never thought my desire for my own self could increase, but it has. Everything is so much deeper now. The desire, the pleasure, the affection, the love. The way I care for myself, not unusual to be loved by yourself. I've been having a ball making plans for myself. Really looking forward to the future. So that's
well. If you're wondering the type of people who go watch movies by themselves, rom-coms, autosexuals.
Yeah, it's a fucking freak show. Just 3 headlines. Other people look ugly compared to me. So that sounds like a narcissist, like you said.
Yep.
They only are attracted to themselves. Cuddled myself for the first time. So
How?
I think you just put your arms around yourself like that.
Okay.
And then one person has a question. Do you think this is just a coping mechanism?
Then every person goes, no. This is definitely not a coping mechanism. This is a very real identity
is the real
that
deal.
is to be respected
It's
and
the
elevated.
real motherfucking deal, and you don't have to go to the army. So
You think you get out of the army as autosexual?
yes. I think if you went in there, that you wouldn't fail the mental health test. You'd be like, is there anything you should know about me? You go, yeah, well, last night I made a bath and then I went on a date with myself and then I looked at myself in the mirror and the guy part of me looked at the girl parts, the girl part of me looked at the guy, and then I made love for myself. It was really romantic, but now I'm actually more in love with myself. They go, yeah, you're great.
You're right, actually. This is like these people's like
you're
dialogue is the script of a crazy guy on the subway.
Of course. So, yeah, they go, yeah, you're not. I don't know what you're up to here, but you're right. You don't have to be in the army.
Fine.
Yeah, all right. Patreon.com/TheBoysCast. We got lots more to talk about. This has been The BOYSCAST.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself